Carlos Ramirez, owner of NVS Audio in Roselle, New Jersey. So today's video is about the last day of Knowledge Fest. A lot of stuff going on. Obviously, I'm back home, but there was so much going on at the show and between my classes and meeting people and talking to people. I obviously couldn't finish the filming when I was there. Then I came back to a packed house at the shop. My guys did an amazing job, took in a bunch of bikes. So we're at the tail end of the Daytona rush, but it was actually the absolute worst time for me to leave the shop. But Knowledge Fest is that important to me that I had to make the sacrifice, and I'm glad I did. So we've always been a Sony dealer, but this is new mobile ES stuff that came out. Very impressive. I knew I was going to like it before I heard it at the show, but after hearing it at the show, it was a no-brainer. Sony's our entry level here at the shop when we do cars and trucks. So it's really easy to sell Sony because it's a name that people know, it's a name people trust. And we only carry Sony's top of the line, which would be the GS and the Mobile ES. So it has an extended warranty. The performance is better than all their regular stuff. It's everything that you would come to expect from a powerhouse company like Sony. This is the best Knowledge Fest I've attended in a few years, and I've been to a lot of them. It's recovery after COVID, so the Dallas Knowledge Fest wasn't as packed. There was a lot of empty seats. That was not the issue here in Vegas. All the classes were packed. The showroom floor was packed since the minute it opened. Chris Cook and his team did an amazing job putting together this show. So my motorcycle audio class, it's a good thing Chris put it at the end of the night because we ran long. The class was supposed to be an hour. It was actually 3 hours long, and no one left the class. It was a packed house all the way through. We did, so I brought a bunch of props with me to show people the way we wire these bikes. So we did, we went over upgraded grounds, which is an issue on Harley-Davidsons. We went over proper wire prep, proper wire terminal terminations, wire furls. I showed both styles of terminal crimpers that we use for the wire furls. I showed the hydraulic crimper that we used for our ring terminals, showed our method of crimping and soldering. We built a complete 2-amplifier harness bike live. I had Gio, Juan's son, came out with us. So Juan treated him to a trip to Vegas for his birthday. So it was a father-son thing. I got to hang out and learn at the same time. It was pretty awesome. So Gio's 17, just turned 18. He's been working with us part-time since he was 14. And I just wanted to show everybody in the class how if you develop a system and a method that even a 17-year-old kid could build these harnesses properly. So he built a complete harness from scratch. So T-harness from the radio to the DSP with the TR7 delay built in. Power harnesses from the battery to the distribution block. Upgraded frame ground from the distribution block up to the amplifiers. Everything loomed, taped, heat shrunk, terminated ends, wire furls. The DSP mount, screwed the amplifier to our amplifier mounting rack. We did it for a street glide, and it took him an hour start to finish. So he had all the wiring perfect for the bike ready to go in an hour. So if he could do it away from the shop, on a workbench, in the middle of a classroom, you guys could definitely do it in the shop. I showed all the pieces that we use. So a lot of stuff we get from Amazon, some of the stuff we get from Amp of America or Pack, the TR4s, even the wire furls. Some we get from Furls Direct, some we get from Stinger. I like the Stinger ones because they're all black. And they come with heat shrink with their name on them already. We went over a bunch of topics in the motorcycle audio training class. It was more geared towards shop owners, how to properly budget, how to get the most out of the client's budget, how to give them the most performance for the amount of money they have, how to stack their packages so you can have 3 tiers, good, better, and best in each class. So whether you're building a rider bike or a parking lot pimp or a competition bike, how to map it out, how to feel your client out, because not every client's your client. So if it's something you don't specialize in, maybe you should pass that on to another shop. For example, Cartel Baggers does a lot of heavyweight and middleweight builds. It's something that we could do, but we're really not interested in. Like, there's certain clients that only want us to touch their bikes, so I get it. I make exceptions for people like Rich. Rich has a powerful middleweight bike. I don't like building middleweight bikes, but I do because it's Rich. And as long as you give me enough time, because I'm not going to make your bike a priority if it's going to sit here and take 6 months to build. I have a lot other jobs I can get done quicker and make more money. But if you're willing to wait, I'm willing to build it for you. We have Mojo's bike here now that we're at the tail end of the build. We're just wrapping it up. And it's a powerful middleweight bike. It's a huge build. It's a lot of equipment. It took us weeks to wire this bike because using the proper gauge wire when you're running these giant amplifiers, it doesn't make sense to buy a 5,000 watt amp and then get 2,500 watts out of it because you didn't use the proper wiring. So getting the batteries to fit and getting everything to look good and sound good and be safe was of utmost importance, and it takes a lot of time. So we went over that in my motorcycle class. We went over promoting. We also did a social media marketing class. So if you're doing something special in your business, you should be able to share it with the world or your community, and social media is the fastest, easiest way to do that. We ended up receiving an award. So we were nominated for top 50 retailers. Then we made it to top 12 retailers. Saul made it top 5 rookie of the year. And we ended up winning the Best Online Presence Award, which is the one award I felt that we deserved this year because we post every single day on social media. It takes a lot of time to shoot the video and edit the video. So Retail of the Year, obviously I didn't feel that we deserved yet because we're still putting the shop together. The shop's still a disaster. We've been in this building less than a year. The old shop is still running. So to deserve Retail of the Year, there's at least 15 things that I have to get. Hopefully maybe in the next year or two. But there's a lot of things I got to put in place. I got to work with a lot of my peers. And on top of teaching classes, I also attended at least 20 classes because I'm always learning. There's always somebody that can teach you something, and I'm always willing to learn. The reason I give away all my secrets and the reason I help so many people is you should only be afraid of somebody catching you if you stop studying, if you stop practicing. I'll tell you everything that I know today because tomorrow I plan on being better. I want everybody to get better. I don't feel threatened by anybody. I know we are really good at what we do, and I work really hard to build the name and the brand that we have, and I'm going to continue to work hard, and I'm going to continue to demand the most from my team. Just like being MECP certified. Gio just passed his MECP certification. 17 years old, MECP basic certified. It's to work for me, you either have to have a degree in electronics or you have to be MECP certified. All my techs are certified or have a degree. And to get to the next level of pay and position, you have to pass your next level of certification. It's really easy. You get more certifications, you make more money. It's really simple. There's a lot of stuff I teach is really, really basic stuff and stuff that I've learned from people like Brian Schmidt from Mobile Solutions, Ken Ward, Andy Waymeyer. There's a ton of people I've learned from. Jason Kranitz from Kingpin Car Audio, Marcel, John from Perfectionist. I have a ton of mentors. There's a bunch of people that help me out behind the scenes. And then I feel that it's my job to pay it forward. There's people that have helped me get to this point, better myself and better my business. And I feel it's my job to pass it on and help other people because I was once that person. Jonathan from Elite Audio is one of those people. Jonathan came out to Dallas Knowledge Fest, and then I pushed him to come to the Las Vegas Knowledge Fest, and he did. And he sat in all the classes alongside me, talked to a bunch of people. I introduced him to a bunch of people in the industry. So he sees value in it, and this kid's can be dangerous. Young kid, smart kid, hardworking. I like the way he works, so I've taken time out of my day to help him because I see potential in him. There's a lot of people that I've met that are reaching out for me for help, and I will get back to all of you. Just got a ton of stuff on my plate right now. But that was it. Show you the last part of the video, walk through the show floor, some of the stuff that I looked at, and that's it. Thank you. I'll talk to you guys tomorrow.
Okay, a number of you said you have lasers, right? Who has CNCs? Okay, we got a few CNC routers. Who has 3D printers? Mr. Devine, Mr. Trainer, yeah. So we got a bunch of people that are in the laser plan for ABS. As the machine is down, how long is it down when the went out?
It kills the power supply at the top, and
right. So one of the issues with ABS is there's a lot of noxious chemicals and there's a lot of corrosive chemicals that are released when ABS is lasered. So
over the years. And so there's a new one that will be available in the group. And if you're somebody who has a life and isn't on Facebook, then we'll find a way to get it to you. You should have matching left and right frequency response. If you have the same sound on the left and the right, it should magically appear to be between the speakers. That's what the phantom image that is mentioned in stereo technical documents. We're playing a sound, right? The air pressure goes up, the air pressure goes down, the cone goes up, the cone goes down. If you got two speakers, they're moving in and out at the same time, and the pressure gets even greater. If they're hooked up backwards, you get cancellation when they're in opposite positions. And they're fighting each other almost perfectly. And you swing up, you come back to normal air pressure, you swing negative, and you come back to the normal air pressure. This is a complete cycle. And we hear from 20 cycles per second, which is like earthquakes or whales getting it on, to 20,000 cycles per second, which is really a lie, because anybody in here who's ever fired a gun or used power tools without protection or been to a rock concert cannot hear 20K with their ears. When you go listen to the Alpine F1 car, they'll tell you that they have a high-res system, and high-res technically is supposed to be able to go up to 40K, and there is some researchers in Japan who believe we can hear to 40K with our skin and not our eardrums, and if that turns out to be true, I'm going to drive everywhere naked to get the full experience. So this is a wavelength. And if your two speakers are separated by half a wavelength, they end up being out of phase. Does that make sense? Full range, they're relatively flat. That is pink noise. And then you see the green line. The green line is the sum of the red and the blue. And normally, the red and the blue just get louder. Okay? They just go up. But in this case, we get this horrible cone-looking thing with a big cancellation at 250 and a big cancellation at 750. What the heck is that? That's the effect of different distances. 27 inches. At 27 inches, you're a half wavelength, separate at 250. The chart tells us this.
Better than most of the other shops in the country, probably. Unless you just happen to be in one of these towns that's really good too. But these are some really quick frequencies that when you're looking at.
I want to say something. It's really refreshing to see a 17-year-old being in the presentation, doing exactly what he was told to do without pausing. It was really refreshing, and to see new blood in the industry, it's awesome.
And he passes MECP.
Okay, here's
That's even better. So
you got short and long.
that's awesome. You guys are doing excellent, and you're doing great.
Thank you.
Here we go. Award Tech of the Year, another new award. How many of you are in Tech Rookie of the Year nominees? Are Thomas Castle, Susan Dick, Harley-Davidson, Jacob Miller, Junior Rivera,
Okay, we have our winner. So he suffered through my boring ass class and he walked away with a $1,000 Harley radio, 2014 and up, from Soundstream Reserve. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Where you from?
Chino, California, the Sound Shop.
Here is the completed harness. Only thing is missing are the screws.
Yeah, the screws.
Because he didn't have it. This was built during class by this 17-year-old right here.
right, so you have the distribution block. I forgot to bring the 4-gauge wire, but this goes to the battery. Wire throws on all the connections. Who's got the DSP? The other amp harness back there? Let me get that HCAM mini DSP off that.
I want to thank everybody that voted for us. Ramirez, Nvs Audio, Roselle, New Jersey. I'm sure you've heard that a few times. So, I proved a couple of points this weekend. So, in our social media class, I told everybody that if I did my job well and promoted myself well enough, the class would be full for the motorcycle audio class because it got dropped off the list. The class was completely full. And then, thank you, Chris, for putting the class back on. And I didn't realize everybody in the class was so into it. We ended up going 3 hours and nobody left. So I talk a lot. Obviously, I'm helping people because you guys continue to listen. I just want to thank everybody. Reach out. I'll keep helping. And any questions you guys have, I'm really easy to reach. Thank you for everybody who voted for me and have a great night.